As the universe expands quietly around you, one question drifts through the darkness. Does space go on forever, or does it gently end somewhere beyond our reach? And if calm journeys like this help you slow your thoughts, ease your mind, and drift gently toward sleep, you're welcome to support this channel by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with someone who loves quiet questions about the universe. There's no rush, just a soft invitation. Before we continue, let's start the journey. The universe has a habit of planting questions in the human mind and never removing them. Questions that stay quiet during the day but return at night when the world slows down. This is one of those questions. If you could travel forever, past every star, past every galaxy, past every edge of light, would space ever end? Or would it continue without answer, without boundary, without conclusion? Tonight, we don't rush toward that question. We drift toward it. There is no rocket beneath you, no vibration, no sudden force. One moment you are aware of Earth, and the next you are gently separated from it. The planet curves away below, blue and fragile, wrapped in thin clouds that glow softly in sunlight. Cities fade first, then continents, then the idea of home itself becomes something distant and quiet. You are not falling, you are not accelerating, you are simply moving outward. The moon passes beneath you, silent and familiar. The sun no longer feels like a center, only one star among many. Mars drifts by, then Jupiter, massive and calm, its storms frozen in slow motion. Saturn's rings appear thin and delicate, almost unreal. Soon the solar system no longer surrounds you. It lingers behind you as a faint memory of light. There is no moment that marks the exit, only increasing distance. Now the universe reveals its true nature. Between stars there is not much at all, not emptiness in the absolute sense, but space so thin that atoms rarely meet. Light travels for years without interruption. Distances stretch beyond intuition. The night sky from Earth once felt crowded. Out here, it feels honest. Stars appear as quiet markers, not destinations, each one a sun, each one surrounded by silence. Gradually, the Milky Way galaxy takes shape behind you. A soft spiral of light, balanced and ancient. Hundreds of billions of stars move together, bound by gravity, circling a shared center. From this distance, it feels peaceful, complete. And yet, it is only one structure among countless others. As you continue, other galaxies appear. Some collide slowly, their stars passing without contact. Others glow red with age, their brightest years already behind them. You do not stop. Something subtle happens as you move farther away. Galaxies begin to look different. Their light stretches. Wavelengths grow longer. Colors shift toward red. This is not damage or decay. It is expansion. Space itself is stretching, carrying galaxies apart, pulling light along with it. The farther you look, the older that light becomes.
You are not just traveling through space now, you are traveling backward through time. Ahead of you lies a boundary, but not the kind people imagine. There is no wall, no surface, no sudden drop into nothingness. This is the edge of the observable universe, the farthest distance light has been able to travel since the universe began. Beyond this horizon, space still exists. Galaxies still exist. Time still moves forward. Their light simply has not arrived. You have reached the limit of visibility, not reality.
Science offers a quiet answer. There is no evidence that space ends in an edge or boundary. If the universe is finite, it may be curved like the surface of a sphere. You could travel forever and never find an edge, only continuation. And if the universe is infinite, then space does not end at all. It simply extends endlessly without conclusion. No center, no border, no final destination. As you rest near this horizon, something becomes clear. Everything is moving away from everything else, not because of motion through space, but because space itself expands. This expansion happens everywhere equally. Some regions are already beyond reach, not because they are too fast, but because space stretches faster than light can cross it. They fade quietly beyond the horizon, still existing, still real, just unreachable. The universe is not closing in, it is opening outward. It does not rush toward an ending. It unfolds slowly, patiently, without urgency. And within that vast unfolding, there is room for rest, room for quiet, room for sleep. In the next part of this journey, we will explore what happens to time itself as we approach these distant horizons. But for now, you can remain here, floating gently, held by a universe that does not demand anything from you at all. As you drift past the last visible galaxies, something important changes. It is no longer about how far you have traveled. Distance stops feeling meaningful here. Stars no longer pass you. Galaxies no longer appear ahead. There is only darkness, not empty, but unfinished. This is the place where space still exists, but information does not. Light has not arrived here yet, and without light, distance becomes a quiet idea instead of a measurement. You are still moving, but movement feels slower now, calmer, almost symbolic. This horizon is not fixed. It is not a wall you reach and stop at. It moves as the universe ages. Every second, light travels farther, and the observable universe grows larger. The horizon retreats gently, always just beyond reach. No matter how fast you travel, it remains ahead of you. This is not failure, it is structure, a reminder that the universe reveals itself slowly, on its own terms, without urgency or pressure. As space expands, time behaves differently. Clocks would not suddenly stop, but meaning would soften. Events become sparse. Moments stretch wider. There are long intervals where nothing changes at all. No explosions, no movement, just duration. Time does not disappear here. It simply loses its rhythm, like music fading until only silence remains between notes. Every direction you look now points toward the past. Light, arriving from distant galaxies, began its journey billions of years ago.
Some of it started when the universe was young, dense, and hot. You are not just seeing far away, you are seeing long ago. Space becomes a record, not a location. A memory written in light, drifting patiently through expansion, waiting to be observed. Far beyond the last galaxies lies a faint glow. Not stars, not planets, just radiation evenly spread across space. This is the cosmic microwave background, the oldest light we can observe, a quiet echo from when the universe first became transparent, before stars existed, before galaxies formed. This glow marks the earliest chapter we can see, not the beginning, but close enough to feel ancient. Beyond that ancient glow, there is no darkness you can see, not because nothing exists, but because light had not yet formed. The universe was opaque then, dense and energetic. Physics still applies, but visibility does not. This is not nothingness, it is simply unreachable by observation. Reality without witnesses. A reminder that the universe existed long before it could be seen and continues beyond what can ever be known. Just as space may not have an edge, time may not either. Some models suggest time began with the universe. Others suggest deeper structures beneath it. Science does not pretend certainty here. It observes carefully and speaks softly. What we know is this: time is tied to space. As space stretches, time stretches with it, gently, without breaking, without rushing toward an end. The universe does not hurry. It expands calmly, evenly, everywhere at once. There is no destination it is trying to reach, no final state it is desperate to achieve. Expansion is not a journey toward something. It is simply what the universe does, a slow unfolding that does not require attention or effort. It continues whether observed or not, patient and unconcerned with conclusion. If space does not end and time does not stop, then endings may not be fundamental. They may be local, temporary, human. Stars end, lives end, stories pause, but the larger structure continues, quietly holding everything that ever was, not erasing, not collecting, just allowing existence to pass through it without resistance.
You do not need to go farther. There is nothing demanding that you understand more. Here at the horizon of knowledge, rest becomes natural. Questions soften. Curiosity slows. The universe does not expect answers from you. It continues whether you ask or not. And as you float here, weightless and unobserved, time loosens its grip, and sleep finds you gently, without effort. As you drift farther than distance and deeper than time, something unusual happens. The universe no longer speaks loudly. It does not announce itself with stars or light or motion. Here, physics becomes subtle. Equations still exist, but they no longer shout their answers. They whisper possibilities instead. This is the region where our strongest theories begin to thin, not because they fail, but because reality becomes more delicate than language. You are not leaving physics behind. You are approaching its quietest edge. Human understanding has always had boundaries. We push against them carefully, measuring, observing, refining. At great distances and early times, those boundaries grow closer together.
General relativity describes space and time as a smooth fabric. Quantum physics describes reality as granular and uncertain. Both theories work remarkably well. But here, near the deepest horizons, they begin to disagree. Not violently, just enough to remind us that knowledge is still incomplete.
Some theories suggest that at the smallest scales, space is not smooth at all. It may resemble something like foam, constantly forming and dissolving. Tiny fluctuations appear and vanish, too small and brief to be directly observed. This does not mean space is unstable. It means it is active, even when nothing else seems to happen. A quiet restlessness beneath stillness. Even here, far from stars, reality continues its gentle activity. Time, too, becomes less familiar. Near the deepest limits, it may not flow the way we experience it. Some models suggest time emerges from more fundamental processes. Others suggest it is woven inseparably with space. What remains clear is that time does not abruptly stop. There is no final moment where everything freezes. Instead, time stretches, thins, and becomes harder to define, like a river slowing as it enters a wide, calm sea. Naturally, the mind asks about before the observable universe, before the first light, before expansion itself. Science approaches this question carefully. There may have been earlier phases of the universe. There may have been different physical laws, or there may have been no before at all, only a beginning of time itself. These are not failures of science, they are honest edges of inquiry. When people imagine the end of space, they imagine nothingness, a complete absence. But physics suggests that even emptiness is not truly empty. Fields still exist. Energy still fluctuates. Vacuum is a dynamic state, not a void. Particles can appear briefly and disappear again. This activity does not require stars or matter. It is simply how reality behaves when left alone. There is something peaceful about this level of existence. No structures compete for attention. No events demand urgency. Reality unfolds according to simple rules, applied everywhere equally. Nothing rushes, nothing waits. Everything simply is. At this depth, the universe feels less like a machine and more like a steady breath, expanding and relaxing without intention. A final boundary would require something beyond it, an outside. Physics gives us no evidence for such a thing. All observations suggest the universe contains itself completely. If it is finite, it curves back on itself. If it is infinite, it extends without edge. Either way, there is no place where space simply stops and something else begins. The idea of an end may be a limitation of imagination, not of reality. Here, no one is watching. No instruments reach this far. No measurements are taken. Yet reality continues. This is one of the most humbling truths science offers. The universe does not require observation to exist. It does not depend on witnesses. It unfolds quietly, whether known or unknown, observed or forgotten. Against this scale, it might seem easy to feel small, but smallness is not insignificance. You are a rare arrangement of matter capable of wondering about the whole. The universe has produced, somewhere within itself, the ability to reflect. That alone is remarkable.
You are not separate from this vastness. You are one of its expressions, briefly aware, gently curious. At some point, questions stop needing answers, not because they are solved, but because they soften. Here, at the edge of physics, it is enough to know that reality continues calmly beyond understanding. There is no demand to follow it farther, no requirement to explain everything. Some mysteries exist not to be solved, but to be held. You are no longer traveling toward anything. There is no destination ahead. Movement becomes optional. Direction loses meaning. You are suspended within existence itself, unhurried and unobserved. Space does not pull you. Time does not push you. You simply remain, supported by laws that do not need attention to function. The unknown does not threaten you here. It does not rush forward or collapse inward. It remains open, spacious, and calm. There is room for not knowing, room for quiet, room for rest. The universe does not expect comprehension. It allows presence. In the next part of this journey, we will move even deeper toward questions about meaning, recurrence, and the possibility that the universe itself may cycle or repeat. But for now, nothing more is required. You have reached a place where physics grows quiet and imagination can finally rest. Stay here. Breathe slowly. Let the vastness hold you gently, without answers, without edges, and without urgency. Far beyond the reach of stars and equations, the universe becomes reflective. Not conscious, not aware, but patterned. Structures repeat. Laws echo. The same rules apply everywhere, no matter how far you travel. This uniformity invites a quiet question. If the universe behaves the same everywhere, could it also behave the same across time? Not as memory, but as recurrence. A gentle suggestion that existence may revisit familiar forms. Some scientific models explore the possibility that the universe may not be a one-time event. Instead of a single beginning followed by endless expansion, there could be cycles. Expansion followed by slowing, cooling followed by renewal. Not collapse into chaos, but transformation into another phase. These ideas remain speculative, but they are mathematically explored, not imagined freely. They arise from attempts to understand gravity, energy, and time at the deepest level. Expansion feels permanent from our perspective. Galaxies move apart, light stretches, distances grow. But expansion alone does not guarantee an eternal future in one direction. The behavior of dark energy, the substance driving expansion, is still being measured. It may remain constant, it may weaken, it may change slowly over time. Each possibility leads to a different long-term story, none of them rushed. One possibility is endless expansion. Stars burn out, galaxies fade. The universe grows darker and quieter. Another possibility is a gentle reversal, where expansion slows and structure returns inward. Not a violent collapse, but a gradual reconnection. A third possibility suggests repeated expansions, where each universe gives rise to another. These are not predictions, they are careful explorations of what physics allows. If cycles exist, time may behave differently than we imagine. Instead of a straight line, it may resemble a rhythm, not repeating moments exactly, but repeating processes. Formation, expansion, cooling, transformation.
This does not imply memory or destiny. It implies structure without intention, a universe that follows rules without caring about outcomes. Even in cycles, exact repetition is unlikely. Quantum uncertainty prevents perfect copying. Tiny variations grow over time. Each cycle, if it exists, would be unique. Familiar patterns might return, but details would differ. This preserves novelty within structure, change within continuity, a universe that allows difference without abandoning order.
When timescales grow large enough, urgency disappears. Millions of years pass quietly. Billions of years unfold without announcement. There is no deadline written into space, no countdown toward meaning. Everything that happens does so slowly enough to feel gentle. Even dramatic cosmic events take place over spans too long to feel sudden. Humans often search for meaning in conclusions, final answers, ultimate endings. But a universe without a clear end does not lack meaning. It simply distributes it differently. Meaning becomes local, found in moments, not finales, present without requiring completion. A universe that continues does not invalidate experience. It holds it. Within all this vast repetition and scale, awareness remains unusual. Complex structures arise rarely. Consciousness appears under specific conditions. You are part of a brief alignment where matter reflects on itself. This does not make you central, it makes you precious, a temporary window through which the universe experiences itself. Most of the universe is quiet, not empty, but inactive. No stars forming, no worlds changing, just long intervals of stability. This silence is not absence, it is rest, a natural state where nothing needs to happen for reality to remain whole. If the universe cycles, it does not remember previous versions. There is no record carried forward, no accumulation of experience. Each phase unfolds fresh, governed by the same rules, but unaware of past outcomes. This keeps the universe neutral, free from burden, always beginning again without expectation. At this point in the journey, there is nothing left to chase, no edge to reach, no final truth waiting just ahead, only continuation. Whether the universe expands forever or transforms through cycles, it does so calmly, without judgment, without urgency. You are allowed to rest inside that calm. Vastness does not demand effort. It invites release. When everything continues far beyond concern, small worries loosen naturally. Perspective widens. Thoughts slow. The mind stops pushing for resolution. Here, scale becomes soothing rather than overwhelming. Perhaps the deepest understanding is not an answer, but a feeling. A sense that reality is stable enough to trust, that existence does not hinge on immediate action, that the universe has room for pauses, for sleep, for stillness. Understanding does not arrive as clarity. It arrives as ease. In the next and final part of this journey, we will allow the questions themselves to dissolve, not by answering them, but by releasing the need to ask. For now, remain here, suspended within a universe that may repeat, may continue, may transform, but never rushes toward an ending. Let the rhythm of vast time carry you gently until thought fades and rest takes over completely. After traveling farther than light, farther than time, farther than certainty, something changes again. Not in the universe, but in you. The questions that once felt sharp now soften. They do not disappear suddenly. They simply lose their urgency. What once demanded answers now feels content to exist unanswered. This is not confusion, it is rest. You realize something quietly profound. The end of space was never a destination. It was a way of thinking, a habit of imagining boundaries where none were required. Space does not end because it does not need to. It is not moving toward completion. It is not building toward a final moment. It simply continues, unfolding without intention or demand. A conclusion implies a purpose. An ending implies a goal. But physics reveals no such plan. The universe follows laws, not narratives. It does not aim for meaning or closure. It allows events to occur, structures to form, awareness to arise, and then to fade again. This lack of intention is not cold, it is neutral. And within that neutrality, everything is allowed to exist briefly and fully. This journey was never about reaching somewhere far away. It was about slowing down enough to see clearly. Distance was only a metaphor. Time was only a lens. The real movement happened inward as urgency dissolved and curiosity became gentle. You did not travel to the end of space. You traveled to the end of needing one. Even as the universe expands endlessly, stillness remains possible. Expansion does not require motion from you. Galaxies drift apart whether you act or not. Time flows whether you measure it or not. Nothing depends on your attention to continue. This frees you from participation. You are allowed to rest without consequence. Everywhere you traveled, the same laws applied. Gravity behaved consistently. Light followed its limits. Time responded to motion and mass. This consistency is one of the universe's quiet comforts. No matter how vast or unfamiliar things become, they remain reliable. Reality does not surprise itself. It unfolds steadily, without drama. Consciousness is not permanent. It arises, lingers, and fades. This is not a flaw, it is part of the structure. Awareness visits the universe briefly, like light passing through space. Then it moves on. Nothing is lost. Nothing is taken away. Experience simply completes its moment and releases itself. The universe does not keep score. It does not archive moments. There is no cosmic record demanding permanence. This means nothing is pressured to last. Moments matter while they exist. Then they dissolve naturally. Memory is a local phenomenon, not a cosmic obligation.
At first, vastness seems overwhelming, but as you settle into it, you notice something else. Vastness removes pressure. When time is abundant, urgency fades. When space is endless, location loses importance. Problems shrink, understanding. Now, even that relaxes. The universe does not require witnesses. Reality continues regardless of attention. You do not need to hold it together with thought. You are free to release the role of observer.
Every journey needs a stopping point.
even if the universe does not. Not an ending, but a pause. A place to rest awareness before it dissolves into sleep. This is that place. There is nowhere else to go tonight. Nothing else to consider. The journey has given you all it needs to. You do not need to return to Earth. You do not need to retrace the path. Awareness can simply soften where it is. The universe does not notice departure or arrival. It holds both equally. Rest does not require movement.
Sleep is not a shutdown. It is a release of control, a temporary surrender of awareness back to the larger system it emerged from. Nothing is lost in sleep. Nothing is abandoned. Consciousness simply loosens its grip and allows the universe to continue without commentary. The final horizon was never space, it was wakefulness. And now even that begins to thin. Thoughts slow, images soften, questions dissolve into quiet. There is no edge here, only rest.
As sleep approaches, remember this gently. The universe does not end when you stop watching it. It does not pause when you fall asleep. It continues calmly, reliably, without concern. You are held within that continuation, whether aware or not. Darkness does not erase. It rests. It allows space between moments. It asks nothing of you. In darkness, the universe remains complete. There is nothing left to solve, nothing left to reach. The end of space was never waiting for you, but rest was. And now it arrives naturally, without effort, without instruction. Awareness fades gently, like distant starlight stretching into quiet. The journey ends not with an answer, but with sleep.